Hi everyone, I'm Jacob Fair with the Prairie Public Library. Welcome to my office. I'm here today to show you how to make homemade juggling balls out of some common household ingredients. Now, I found the instructions for this particular craft online close to a decade ago. I'd love to give credit to the original person, and unfortunately, that webpage is long since gone. But to the person who posted this online way back then, thank you. So you'll need a few things. You'll need 3 balloons. 9-inch balloons work best to hold your juggling balls nice and snug. 12-inch balloons, your balls will be a little bit looser. That's okay though. You'll need some kind of empty and dry pop or juice bottle. I should note the Grande Public Library does not endorse any of the participants in the Cola War. You'll need a funnel, some scissors, some tape, and a half cup of dry, fairly small material. I've traditionally done these juggling balls with rice as a filler, but popcorn should work just as well, and that's what we had handy at the library today. As long as it's dry and fairly compact with no really sharp edges, just about anything would work. I even thought about using coffee beans, because I think that would be a lot of fun juggling coffee juggling balls. So here's how it works. Measure out an even half cup of your filler ingredient. It has to be an even half cup. If you use too much, it'll be very hard to pack your juggling balls well. If you don't use enough, your juggling balls will be really saggy and they won't work quite as well. And pour your filling material using the funnel into your empty and dry bottle. Next, you're going to take your first balloon, inflate it, and stretch it out over the neck of the bottle. Now, this first balloon, its colors will not appear in the finished product. For that reason, I recommend using a color you don't like or white. So I'm going to blow up the balloon, and while holding it inflated, I'll stretch it over the mouth of the bottle. Okay, so I'm going to hold the air in the balloon and stretch the neck of the balloon over the bottle. And this is the hardest part of the entire craft. Parents, I highly recommend helping your kids with this particular step. Okay, now that I've got the mouth of the balloon stretched over the mouth of the bottle, I'm going to hang on to it, hang on to the edge of the balloon, holding it tight against the edge of the bottle, let go of this part of the balloon, and I'm going to tip the whole thing over to let the popcorn fall into the inflated balloon. There we go. Now I can take it off the bottle and carefully let the air out. Now, you need the balloon fully inflated for that step because, as you can see here, a half cup of filler material is enough to fill up this balloon. It would not pour into the balloon. There would not be enough space if the balloon was uninflated. So make sure the balloon is blown up fairly big before you do that step. Now, I'm going to use the scissors to cut the neck of the balloon about halfway. There we go. And I'm going to fold the cut neck over the edge of the balloon like this and use a small piece of tape to hold it in place. And this is basically to make sure that the filler doesn't fall out while we're completing the remaining steps. Now, as it stands now, this juggling ball isn't very secure. A simple fall would make the tape fall off and the filling would spill everywhere. So we need another layer of balloon. Okay, now I'm ready for my next step. I'm going to take the juggling ball as is, and I'm going to stretch another balloon over top of it to give us a second layer of rubber holding this juggling ball together. So I'm going to take my second balloon here and cut the neck of it off entirely. There we go. And as you can see, I've cut the entire neck off the balloon, just leaving me with the round part of the balloon. Then I'm going to stretch the balloon out. I found the best way to do this is to put a couple fingers from each hand on the inside of the balloon, stretch it out, and pull it over the existing juggling ball. There we go. And I made sure that the tape, the open end of the existing balloon, was at the far end of my new balloon, so the opening is on the opposite end. Now, I have a juggling ball here with 2 layers of balloon holding the filler in. That's pretty good, but it's not as secure as I'd like yet, and so I'm going to use my last balloon, the third one, to give it one more layer. And so I'm going to use the pink balloon I picked out earlier. And I'm going to do the exact same thing I did in the last step. Cut off the neck of the balloon entirely. And stretch the balloon out from the inside with my fingers and stretch it over the existing juggling ball with this opening that shows the first balloon layer at the very back. So I'm alternating which side of the ball the weak point is on. And there we go. This is our finished juggling ball. With the exception of this small point where you can see that second balloon color, it's got 3 balloons holding the filler in, and I can't speak for the durability using popcorn, but when I've made these juggling balls with rice in the past, they've been able to withstand being thrown directly at a concrete floor as hard as I possibly could without breaking. They're fairly tough. Now, the best part of these juggling balls is because they're just made out of balloons, it's very, very easy to fix them when they start getting worn. All you need to do is pick out 2 new balloon colors, cut the neck off the balloon as I did, and just stretch it over the existing ball. These 3 juggling balls here, I made the very first time I taught this craft in a different library. And that was about 8 years ago now. And every time I teach a new juggling workshop and teach kids how to make juggling balls, I add on 2 more layers of balloon again. So at this point, these ones probably have 15 or 16 balloons holding the filling in. Now granted, some of those layers had gotten worn over time and the balloons had deteriorated a bit on the outside, but I just popped 2 new layers on and they're good as new. And over time, at least with rice, the individual rice grains break down to a certain extent, and so these juggling balls are smoother than they used to be. And they are fantastic for juggling because they have a nice heft to them. They mold in your hands slightly, which is great, and which also allows them to double as stress-relieving balls. And because they are somewhat malleable, when they fall, they tend to stop and not roll forever, which is kind of nice as well. Now, later on, I will be filming a video where I show the basic steps needed to work yourself up from juggling 1 ball to learning how to juggle 3 balls. So please keep an eye on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page for that video. And with that, thank you everyone. I'm Jacob Fair with the Grande Prairie Public Library. I hope you enjoyed this. Please keep an eye on our Facebook page for the other things we're doing to keep people entertained during this time. Thank you. Bye now.